Hey yo, what's going on, guys? It's Mike Reed here. Welcome to a very, very special review by yours truly. Today we are taking a look at something very, very special. Yes, for those who've been following my Discord and my various other posts, and for those who've been following me directly, you will know this has been an unboxing I've been anticipating for what feels like forever. Let's waste no further time. Today, guys, we are taking a look at the brand new Nintendo Switch 2 Mario Kart Edition. Oh my god. I am lost for words, guys. I am really, really lost for words. As for those who somehow don't know, I have been following Nintendo for many years. And we can go all the way back to when I started. So, first and foremost, I started with Nintendo with the Wii, right? That was my first, dip into what Nintendo was, right? And what Nintendo was all about. Then, many, many years later, I would get the 3DSs, right? Particular, I got the original 3DS, the 3DS XL. Those are both hand-me-downs from my father. Shout out to him, because he is amazing for giving me those. And really fueling my love and drive for gaming. And then I would get my Samus Edition 3DS during the pandemic, or the start of the pandemic. And that carried me all the way until the holiday of that year, when I would get my very first Nintendo Switch. Because at the time, everybody was pushing me to get it. And I decided, you know what? I'm going to let the fans just dictate me on that one. You know what I mean? And so I got my first Switch. Then, of course, in 2021, I would then be able to get my original Switch OLED, which, of course, is right here from 2021. Absolutely magnificent piece of hardware. I love this thing. And since this is my very first Nintendo console I would ever get on day one, I had to hold on to this sucker. Because, I mean, come on. This thing is too awesome not to hold on to. So, really, really cool piece of hardware. And now, in 2025, we have been graced with the Switch 2. And, wow, from what Nintendo claims and everything, this is going to be, like, a crazy new direction for Nintendo. In every sense. Now, I realize there's been a lot of discourse about this system. I fully understand that, and I'm with you on some of that. But at the same time, I'm giving Nintendo that chance, as I've always have, to impress me. And so far, even just looking at the box itself, I'm impressed. Because, let's do a quick box comparison real quick. So for a quick comparison, let's compare it to the original OLED box from the front. As you guys can see, they do look pretty much about the same as each other, except obviously the OLED's box is much, much bigger as compared to the 2's, which is a little more form-fitting. And of course, costs and everything like that. So, taking a look now a little closer at the box, of course you get the Nintendo Switch 2 logo, which is very similar to the original Switch, but they put a number 2 on the front. So that way you know, this is the 2. You know, this is that next evolution of Nintendo hardware. And then, of course, right here, we get the actual look at the console itself with the new Joy-Con 2s, the new Joy-Con 2 grip. And, of course, we get the tablet itself and the brand new docking station. So, excellent stuff right here. And, of course, we will compare all of this stuff as we progress through the video here. And of course, at the top here, it does include Mario Kart World as a downloadable title. So that is really cool to see. And potentially, depending on how I'm feeling, I might do a series on this new game. If you guys are interested, let me know in the comments if you guys want to see Mario Kart World on the channel. Because if you do, I'll be more than happy to do a series on it. For sure. But anyhow, of course, over here we do have the Nintendo Switch 2 logo once again. We do get another look at it in tabletop mode, showing how you can use it just like the original Switch and the red box Switch, and of course the OLED as well. Not so much the light though, but I never had the light, so I can't really speak to that. On the back, we do get another nice display of the Switch 2 in its docking station, being held up by this very interesting hand here. And on this side, we get another Switch 2 logo, and we get a nice visual of it in handheld mode. So very cool to see right there. And at the top of the box here, of course, you have a nice big Nintendo logo at the top. And on the bottom, a whole bunch of legal jargon. So without further ado, let me go ahead and grab my box opener. And let's see what the future of Nintendo is going to look like with the Nintendo Switch 2. So get excited, people. Alright guys, so with the front flap cut and opened, you guys can see right here, we get a couple steps. So of course we have the plug it in right here. You guys can see that. It says right there, plug it in with the AC power adapter. Then you need to set the console up. And then of course you have right here, to detach a Joy-Con 2 controller, press the release button on the back of the controller and pull outward gently. Then press the power button to set the Nintendo Switch 2 system to sleep mode or to wake it up. So very cool to see right there for the Switch 2. And now, without further ado, let's open this thing up all the way. And wow. So there it is. This is very, very similar to the original Switch OLED that I looked at a few years ago. So let's go ahead and pull out the controllers and let's see what they look like. Starting off with our right Joy-Con. You guys can see it comes in this very nice sleeve. And if we open it, oh my goodness. This thing is a chonker. Now, if we compare it to my original Switch OLED controller, Joy-Con 1, yeah, much, much bigger. What a behemoth of a thing. Good grief. Absolute monster. I mean, I have no words. I have no words, because like this is amazing. So looking at the Joy-Con 2, you can see we have much bigger buttons, X, Y, A, and B. And they all have, and they even updated the clicks in these too, so they're much more responsive, much more tactile. So that is excellent. Also, we get the new stick, which from what Nintendo claims is an updated stick, and it feels really good. Wow. Or at least that's what Nintendo claims anyways, that this is updated. Of course, it should be able to click in, for the tactile button in there. Of course, you have the home button there as well, and we have this new C button. This, of course, is your game chat button to work with Nintendo's new game chat feature. Really, really nice button, and it clicks about as well as you would expect. Of course, on the top here, we do have on the railing, or up here, the SL and SR buttons. And these are, believe it or not, these are die-cast metal. Because, yes, there are magnets in this console this time. And wowzers. Those are some big shoulder buttons. And then, of course, right here, you have these little pads right here to make contact with the inside of the system. And we do have this little button up here, this little sensor. This, of course, is your mouse sensor. So if you put this on your lap or on a desk, you should, in theory, be able to use this like a computer mouse. Very, very cool to see with this. And then, of course, right here on the back, if we flip over to the back of the controller, we can see a whole bunch of legal jargon back here. We do have the new release buttons for the magnets. So you just push that to release it from the console, and a little tab will come out. And this too, I believe, is made of die-cast metal, so that is excellent. Of course, we have the brand new ZL and ZR buttons, or at least these are the updated versions. And as you can see, compared to the original Switches, or in this case R and ZR, they are much bigger, so they're nice, big, just patios. You can just cock your finger and bam, and click that button. Excellent stuff. Of course, on the railing here, it is extended out more compared to the original, and it has the new LED indicators on the top. And in the center, we have the connector, which of course is going to connect in with the actual Switch itself to allow it to register into the system for handheld play. So that is really, really good here. And also, there should be rails for this too, as well. So with the right one out of the way, we'll go ahead and put it back in its sleeve now, very, very quickly, before anything happens to it. Good grief. Let's go ahead and take a look at the ZR controller, or ZL, excuse me. And here it is, looking very nice indeed. So I just pull it out of its little sleeve. And there it is. Again, really nice, big controller. Just really feels good in the hands. Very nice matte finish. I should mention that too. These are matte finish. So no fingerprints, no gloss, no problem with these controllers. Really, really nice looking. Of course, with these, you do have your original D-pad buttons here, which you can see if I bring in my original Switch 1 Joy-Con L, or Joy-Con 1 L, looking very, very good right there with the nice buttons. And yeah, compared to the original buttons, these feel much, much clickier. Really, really nice to see. And of course, with this, you do have the supposedly updated stick right there, which you can move that around, wiggly, wiggly. And again, it feels very, very good in the hand. And it does click. So that's good. Oh, and I should have mentioned as well for the right one, the buttons on the top, the plus and minus, are still there. And, well, they are very clicky as well. Really, really nice to see with this. And of course, for this one, you do have your screen capture button, which is great. So you can press that once to take a screenshot, or press and hold it for short video capture. So that is excellent that that's there. And of course, on the back, you do have your release button up here. And you have your nice big patios for the ZL and for the L and ZL triggers. Very nice, very clicky. Of course, on the top here of the railings, we have the the railing here, we have the SL and SR. Again, die-cast metal. Very nice and clicky. And then, of course, up here we do have our little connector, and we have our mouse sensor to, again, be able to use this in mouse mode. So very cool. That's there as well. I should also mention for these, you do have a little power indicator as well to, of course, power these on and off. And it's on both the L and the R. So that is great. And now let's go ahead and take a look now at the actual console itself, which is a little easier said than done, because this is going to be very, very careful with this, because I should note that even though I do have the Switch 2 now, there are still a couple things I need to do before I can truly start this thing up and start playing on it, obviously. So let's take a look now at the tablet. And wow, what a tablet this is. What an absolute mammoth. Open this thing up, and we'll carefully slide it out. Oh, oh, this is a chonker, all right. What a beast. It's like an iPad Pro, this thing. And I have it upside down. There we go. Beautiful. So looking at the screen, this is a brand new, this is a HDD screen, I believe. What did they say? So I think it's 720p. 120 frames. Yeah. So this thing is an absolute beast. Especially compared to the Switch 1, which was, what was it? I think this one's also, actually wait, no, this one's 1080p 120. as compared to the original's 1080p 60. So this one has a good, nice frame bump. And of course the size bump as well is just really, really impressive with this. And of course we can spin around to the top of the console now. Again, being very careful with it. You have up here. And up here you will have your power button. It's a little tricky to see because, let me see if I can get a light on this. There we go. So you can see you do have your nice power button. You have your volume rocker. You have nice big vents. We do have a USB-C port up here, which is new. We do have a headphone jack. We do have a microphone. And we have our game card slot, which is a nice big game card slot for all of our new Switch 2 games. So that is really cool to see, or at least physical games, and Switch 1 physical games. Of course, as you look on the sides of the tablet now, you can see we have the nice big portions for where the Joy-Cons will fit, with the connectors right there as well. And one side, of course, has the minus in the blue, and this side has the red with the plus. So that way you can't be confused, at least you shouldn't be too confused, as to what is going where on your new Switch 2. Of course, you have you down here, just like with the previous two systems, you do have your mics right here, your speakers, which I believe are updated and should be able to provide some really nice clear sound for your new games. So that way when you're in Mario Kart and you're racing around the track and you're trying to dodge those red shells and those green shells and all the other new power-ups in the game, you'll be able to hear them loudly and clearly. So that is excellent right there. Of course, down here you also have your ventilation system and your USB Type-C port down here as well, which can be used for charging, and the top one can also be used for charging, but of course that top USB-C can be used for various other USB-C accessories, including of course the Nintendo Switch 2 camera, or any other webcam that has the USB-C port for your game chat feature. So that too is very, very good with this. Now of course flipping around to the back here, of course we do have our nice Nintendo Switch 2 logo back here, which does look quite good, and it has a very nice printed finish on there. And back here you also have your kickstand, which if we fold that out, does fold out quite a good length, and then it just very gently folds back in when you're done playing. Of course over here you do have a little barcode over here, which we're going to just move that out of the way. And right here you have your port for your micro SD express card, because yes, the Switch 2 does use a new card type to further bolster the memory processing and allow for more complicated and enriched games. So that is really cool to see with this new console. So, putting this back in its protective sleeve now, and turning off my handy light. Let's go ahead and do a quick jump cut, and let's see what else we get in this box with the Nintendo Switch 2. Alright, so, now then, let's see what else is in this box for the Switch 2 here. So if we open this up, this little tab here, we get a very nice download code for Mario Kart World, which of course I'll be using that at a later point. You do get the health and safety warnings. And you get a series of cables, and you also get your brand new Joy-Con 2 rails. So very cool to see. These should just snap on to those new Joy-Cons and allow for further use of the mouse controls. Let's go ahead and show those off real quick whilst we're here. Set the camera back down. I think we're just going to unbox one of them in this case, not both of them. But let's unbox the blue one here. So it just slips right out of that little slip case, and out it comes. And as compared to the original Joy-Con rails, for comparison, let me grab a Joy-Con rail. In this case, these are the OLED ones. The only difference with these ones is that they added a new printing to the rails. They are much bigger, much bigger, and they're more hollowed out. So that way you can utilize the mouse feature for the Switch 2's Joy-Con 2s. So that is great. And to attach this to a Joy-Con 2, we just take out our left Joy-Con 2. And we should just be able to just snap it on just like that. And now we can utilize our mouse feature. And of course, now we can use the Joy-Con 2 now with a little more bulk to it, a little more oomph. And there is a very nice sort of low contact surface on here to allow for the mouse controls to work with the Joy-Con 2s. And of course you can use these on both the right and the left one, because I'm pretty sure they are universal for both. So if you want to use the blue with the red, you could use it like that. The red with the blue, you could use that too. So it's totally up to you with these. And you do have a nice strap here, which is updated. So you do have a nice little thing on the back. And you have this little adjustable bit on the front, which surprisingly doesn't have a Nintendo logo on it. I'm kind of surprised. Oh, it does. It just has it on this side. It's really hard to see. But it does have the Nintendo logo right there on the back of the button. And to adjust it, all you need to do is just push a little button here. And then you can slide it, press and hold. And then you just slide it back or forwards along the wristband here to adjust it to your wrist. And what's nice too is that these are updated to include a new stitching here, so that way it's nice and secured onto the Joy-Con 2s. Really, really nice stuff. And to remove it, it should be pretty simple. Just gently. I believe it's, I think you have to push the button here. Yeah, so what you want to do is you want to push this button here on the back, just like you would disconnecting from the console. Lifts up like so, and then pull it off. Very, very easy. Very, very simple. Very Nintendo thing to do. Really, really cool to see that with these new Joy-Cons. Right there. And of course, to get it back into the plastic sleeve here, which is not going to be easy. La-da-dee, la-da-da. Okay. Go ahead and chuck these nice in here, like so. And we'll just simply take out this part of the box here. And now we get down to some more fun stuff down here. In this case, we'll start off with this little package right here. It's very clean. So you just simply open this up. And this is our new Joy-Con 2 grip. Now, of course, on the side, they will sell a charging grip with this, just like they did with the Switch 1's Joy-Cons, which is great. And for a quick comparison, let's again grab in the original Switch Joy-Con grip. As you can see, pretty nice difference here. Even if the OLED's one, the only thing they changed is they made it more sunk in for the OLED's grip. And it does look quite good. Obviously, you do have these nice rubber buttons here to slide them in. And of course, if you want to slot in your Joy-Con 2s here, it's very easy to do. All you really need to do, and if I get both Joy-Cons out, because you know what, we'll grab both out again. All you need to do is just take the Joy-Cons, line them up inside the slot, and with some magnets, they will click right into place. Just like that. And now you have your Switch 2 Joy-Con grip with your Joy-Con 2s inside. How cool is that? Really nice big chonking controller here. And of course you still have access to all of your buttons. Everything works exactly how you would expect. And of course on the back, nice embossed Nintendo logo. And to take the Joy-Cons out when you're done is very simple. Just press that button on the back. And the Joy-Cons should just release themselves from the grip. Now it does seem like, okay, need a little more force And you just wanna push and then pull. So push and then pull. And out they come. Very, very simple. Very, very Nintendo thing to do. Really, really like that. Super, super cool to see with this. I know I'm saying that a lot this video, but it's so cool. It's so cool. Oh boy. So, sliding these babies right back into their plastic sleeves again. Let's now go ahead and take a look at the docking here, which takes up a good chunk of the inside. I think that's where most of the heft is coming from. And, oh boy. Ooh, okay. Big, heavy dock right here. And you slide it out of its protective foam cover. Oh yeah! And there is your Switch 2 dock. Look at this chonker. What a thing. So again, it's kind of hard to see because, oh, my lighting. There we go. So now you can actually see it does have the Switch 2 logo embossed on the front, which looks really clean here. Of course, you have your light indicator, just like on my Switch 1 dock, over there, to power it on when it is connected to power, or to a power source, excuse me. And if we spin around to the inside now, you can see the interior is about the same as Switch 1's and Switch OLEDs, more or less. Just obviously updated to support the new vents, and of course has a new system in there to support the Switch 2's USB-C port on the bottom. So, of course, when you're docking this into the dock, you just insert it just like you would, like over there with the Switch 1. You just slide it in carefully until it clicks, and there you go. Very nice to see. Of course, on the back of the dock, we do have a new ventilation system on the back. So we do have a nice motorized vent that should kick on whenever the system needs to be cooled down automatically, which is excellent. And if we slide this off, now I believe this just pops off of here. Let me see, how does it go? Oh, okay, it just gently unpegs like that. Okay, I was a little worried there because I'm like, I want to break the thing. Good grief. So there is where your fan's going to be. And of course right here you do have the engraved text for your HDMI out, AC adapter, and your LAN port for LAN-based Wi-Fi connection. Of course, over here you have a whole bunch of legal jargon, and on the side here you can see all of the ports in all of their glory. So you can have a look at the portholes. Very nice to see. Of course, right here you do have a little connector pegs for the lid to connect to. And on the back, it does have an HDMI logo embossed in here, and you do get a nice Nintendo logo embossed here. And to slide it back on, it should be very, very simple. You just take it and gently push it back into place. And I believe you want to start from the bottom. Yeah, you just want to hinge it up and then click it back in. And then to open it, just do the reverse. So you just gently unpeg the top and pull it back. And there's little locks on the bottom here. So you do want to be mindful of that. There are little locks down here that will line up with some bottom slots on the bottom. There. And then you just push. Boom. Nice and closed. Of course, on this side, just like with your original Switch dock, we do have two USB, I believe these are USB-A ports right here, just USB ports. Now you can use these for a variety of different things. You can connect wire controllers up to these, you can put chargers here, or whatever peripheral you want that uses this feature, you can put that there for the Switch 2 dock. Really nice to see. Right there. And on the bottom of the dock, if we look at that, we do have a lot of holes down here for ventilation and rubber feet, so that way it stays put on your desk or just on your TV stand or wherever you're going to put it, so that way the thing doesn't fall off. just like on the original Switch dock. Really, really nice. So we'll go ahead and re-sleeve that. And put this back inside of the box. This is a little bit easier said than done. There we go. And in that goes. And we'll just put this back in the box as well. It's very nicely seated in there. Okay. Oh, and of course in here we should probably take a look at the power adapter here. So this is your Switch 2 power adapter. As you can see through the little baggie here. It does have a Nintendo logo embossed on there. Of course, a whole bunch of legal jargon here. And of course you get your little plug, which is quite nice. Oh, and it does have a USB-C port out on the front as well. I'm not going to bother taking this out. Probably not going to need it, at least for my Switch. But for you, if this is your first Switch, you're probably going to need that. Well, not probably. You are going to need that. Alongside, of course, your Switch 2, USB-C to USB-C, a little cable here as well. Very nicely cabled. Of course, has Nintendo logos embossed on it. Does look really, really pretty. So very cool to see that with this as well. And it does slide into the box very cleanly, like so. And now, with all of that aside, let's go ahead and see what the Switch 2 looks like when it's all assembled out of the box with the Joy-Cons and everything. Let's see this. Alright guys, so with your Joy-Con 2L, Joy-Con 2R, and the tablet, which is a little bit dusty. So let me grab a wipe here, because this is a little bit gooky. Just a little bit. Okay, where's my microfiber cloth here? So I'm going to leave that. This. There we go. This will work. Okay. No. That's not what I wanted. Shoot. Okay. Let me try this one. One for size. Oh, shoot. Okay. Come on. Hold on a second here, guys. So you guys think a good hard wipe. Okay. And yes, I am leaving this all in and editing. I'm leaving all this in. So you guys can enjoy this experience of me wiping my screen. Okay. Now, let's connect them up to the Switch. Starting off with the Joy-Con L. Just slot it in. Clicks in like that. And Joy-Con R. And there you have the Nintendo Switch 2 all assembled. Wow, what a huge upgrade. In more ways than one. And now for the final comparison, let me grab my original OLED model for comparison. I mean, is this even a fair comparison at this point? Is this even fair? Because, like, look at this. Look at the size difference. This is incredible. Absolutely insane. Just to think that this is Switch 2 compared to my tiny little OLED. I mean, it's like the iPad versus the iPad Pro. This is just unreal. Unreal to see right here, people. Really, really scary when you put it in comparison right here. So, with all that being said, that's pretty much going to do it for my review on the Nintendo Switch 2. Yes, I'll be doing a lot more videos with this guy here in the future, but unfortunately, we are going to have to leave things here with this big chunker because there's still a lot of stuff I still need to do, let alone get set up in the background before I can even think of playing on this device. So, that's where I'm going to have to leave it for now. But with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching this awesome review of the Nintendo Switch 2. Hopefully you guys are just as excited, if not more excited than I am to get the system. And for those who are considering to get it, definitely go ahead and get this thing. Because this thing's going to be awesome. It's going to have so many new experiences if you can afford it. If you can't, of course, I and everybody else here at Read HQ totally understands. But for me and everybody here at Read HQ, we are very fortunate to have this thing. Let alone in such short timing after launch. So, with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy this one, please make sure to drop a like on this video, subscribe if you're new, and ring that notification bell so that you guys get notified for all my uploads. Later, Read Squad, and have a gosh darn good one.